right here, I'm thinking about cutting a hole into that container, just like we did over here on this side. If I can get it to focus, give it just a second. See how I did that mouse hole on that side, and we really like that. But what I think I want to do over here is a little bit different. I want it to be more like just a closing door, similar to this right here, where it just opens and closes, and that way it'd give me the chance to actually have AC or even heat inside of that small container. Kind of give you reference to where we're at. This over here is the mechanics corner, the kind of the bay that we've been working in, getting that set up for mechanic work. We still are working on getting some of the storage, so we had a lot of storage that we had to bring over into the shop, unfortunately. And then this over here, you can't really see behind it, but that's going to be the woodworking section eventually. And then of course up here is the storage, and then of course we'll have like a little half wall. It won't be a full wall, but it'll be a half wall that will kind of cover up the majority, because it is my shop and I don't want to have to see nastiness up there, but it's going to make a pretty decent amount of storage. So we're slowly kind of converting all of that over just to get all this mess cleaned up. But what I think I'm going to do, I'm considering a couple different options. I want to make a doorway through here, and I want to make it closed. I know that much. What I'm not sure about is exactly how wide do I want to go. Now I have these doors right here because this is actually a container. And so, I mean, I can get anything I want. This doorway right here is essentially 8 foot wide. There's nothing that I can't get in and out of that container. But I can't see any reason to make this too narrow. At first, I was going to make it as narrow as my shoulders because I want to have as much wall space here as I can for hanging stuff. Y'all know that I like to see everything that I'm working with to some degree. So I want to have as much wall space as I can, but at the same time, I don't want it too narrow. So I was going to go 27 inches. I really started thinking that was too narrow. The standard door, I think, is like 37. My front door, I made 39 because I could. I'm going to build this myself just to make it look better. I am going to go 82 inches, I think. There's no reason not to. But I'm really thinking about going 30 inches wide. I would love to see y'all's comments. What I'll do today is I'll make it 30. And I won't even put a door in there for now, to just be open. If I get to the point I don't like it, I'm going to change it. But I'd love to see y'all's comments afterwards. Do you think I should make it 37 or just leave it at the 30? Leave it in the comments. There's multiple reasons why having a container shop is just a true blessing. So this right here has just been storage from when we lived on our old farm. We had a house, and this is pretty much just storage from everything that was in the house. But anyway, we can tell by the weld lines right here where this is, and we're going to cut on this side of this support because we don't want to cut the support out. That's the actual truss. And we're going to put a piece of pipe in right here to hold that in, and then we'll cut our doorway out and go ahead and notch all that out. The long-term plan for this container on this side of the shop is for it to be an enclosed, insulated area. It's on the north side of the shop, and it's covered with a complete lean-to. It gets almost no sun. The only sun that the entire container gets is on that front door that you saw me on. The container should stay fairly cool on its own, but I will probably put an air conditioner on the really hot days. I can keep it somewhat manageable in there. I think what I want to do is have my leather sewing machine in there and be able to do some leather work. I used to do it for a living, and now I'll just do it for a hobby. And then I'll do any other type of cleaner work that isn't necessary to do outside of the shop. And that'll give me a place where I can do some work. I'll probably edit my YouTube videos in there and even turn it into somewhat of a man cave. I've considered having a desk in there where I could work on some of the stuff for our business, but at the same time, it almost makes sense to leave a desk in my wife's office and continue to do our business work in there. I haven't decided yet. Y'all leave that in the comments whether I should have this as just a man cave or would you include some of that other stuff. Ultimately, the main thing that I want to do in here is just have it to where it's a complete enclosed area. The whole shop is getting me outside of the elements, but this will be completely outside of the elements. I'll be able to stay really toasty warm in the wintertime and stay very cool in the summertime. So this is just a place that you would go when it's miserable anywhere, even inside the shop. There are some days where the humidity is so high that the shop is rough just because of the high humidity. There's also some days that the shop is a little bit cold because it's so cold outside. And then there's other days that it's just so miserably hot that even inside the shop, underneath this loft, it's still a little bit warmer than you'd like it to be, even with a fan. I mean, like, if you put a fan, you're perfectly fine no matter how hot it is. But sometimes you don't want a fan blowing all of your papers out of the way, like, depending on what you're working on. So it'd just be a nice place to get away. I don't want it to be too big, like especially if I'm running an air conditioner. I really think that this 8 by 40 by 9 foot tall container is going to be pretty much ideal for this, because it gives me a spot that I can easily flip an air conditioner on when I walk into it, but I don't have to always have an air conditioner running nonstop, because I really don't want to be out working on a shutdown for 2 months or come back home and be working around the farm and then not really using it for several months and then end up just wasting all that money. That was one reason for completely covering it on that north side, was to help control some of the heat. That's what I'm talking about right there. Boy, if y'all had known just how long I've been waiting. I guess y'all do know, because you can go back in the channel and look. But I am so happy to have that door cut through. Now, I may in the future cut it bigger, but I can always cut it bigger. It's a little bit harder to make it smaller. So right now I'm going to start with that. I'm not even going to make a door. It's just going to be a hole. We'll walk back and forth, see what I think.